Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Straight Talk Ask an Expert. I am Sean McCarville, the Executive Director of Project Pinked. Tonight we have a topic on returning to fitness after treatment. With us, we have Erica Jackson, registered dietitian, nutritionist, and certified personal trainer and owner of AIM Nutrition Consulting. And then to my right, I have Christy Morris, certified personal trainer and certified nutrition coach at AIM Nutrition. A little more about what AIM Nutrition is. They offer a personalized and simplified approach to health and wellness through individualized nutrition coaching and personal training. They help you achieve your health and fitness goals so you can be the absolute best version of yourself. Instead of focusing on restriction and perfection, they focus on progress, sustainability, and long-term success. Tonight, Erica and Christy are going to dive in and give you tools and resources to kickstart your physical activity, whether it be at the gym, at home, or outside. So,
thank you.
Good luck, you guys.
Thank you for the introduction.
Yes.
I am Erica.
And I'm Christy.
All right, so let's get right into things.
Spinning out of control already.
Already spinning on the chair. Okay. So let's talk about some of the benefits of exercise after breast cancer treatment. So exercise can be one of the most powerful tools in recovery after treatment. Whether you've undergone surgery, chemotherapy, or radiation, incorporating physical activity into your routine can have huge benefits for both your physical and your mental health. One of the things that Christy is going to be talking about is lymphedema exercises, and there are specific ways that these exercises can help, like assisting with the lymphatic flow and drainage, reducing swelling, and restoring range of motion and flexibility. And Christy is going to show us some specific things that you can do at home once we get into our demonstrations. So physically, exercise can help improve your strength, endurance, and overall fitness, especially after the toll that treatment takes on your body. Regular activity reduces fatigue, and that is one of the most common side effects of breast cancer treatment. And exercise obviously helps to rebuild your muscle strength and flexibility, which really just makes it easier to return to your normal day-to-day activities. Weight-bearing exercises like strength training or resistance exercise are especially important. Not only do they restore your muscle tone, but they also help to protect your bone density, and that can be compromised from chemo or hormonal therapy. Cardio exercises can benefit your heart health, which overall help reduce your risk of cardiovascular disease. And this is also crucial because certain breast cancer treatments can increase that risk of heart disease over time. My absolute favorite benefit of exercise is that mental health benefit that you get. So regular physical activity helps your body to release endorphins, which are your body's natural mood boosters. And this can help manage anxiety and depression, which many survivors experience after diagnosis and treatment. And I personally am such a big fan of helping to find a more natural solution versus adding another medication, if at all possible. Trying something like yoga can help with mindfulness and relaxation, helps to reduce stress and improve your overall emotional well-being. These exercises encourage a mind-body connection, helping you feel more in control of your recovery overall. And group exercise classes and something like walking with friends can also help you build a social connection, which reduces feelings of isolation. Staying active in a supportive community can offer emotional strength, confidence, and a sense of well-being. The benefits of exercise after treatment go well beyond recovery. By staying active, you're not only helping to restore your body, but also empowering your mind and your spirit, giving yourself the best chance for a happy and healthy life. So, Christy, how does someone know when they can get back into fitness after treatment?
That's a great question. Getting back into fitness after treatment can be a little intimidating. All of those are wonderful benefits of exercise. So then getting started, knowing when to begin is always dependent on what your doctor says first of all, first and foremost, always get your doctor's clearance before even starting into any kind of exercise. The timing after that is going to be based off of your own body itself. So listen to your body and go slow. For instance, if you've had any kind of surgery, a lumpectomy, a mastectomy, you might actually be able to slowly move into exercise within a few days or weeks afterwards, compared to if you've had any kind of reconstruction surgery, that might be a longer time frame. Chemo, like Erica had mentioned, or radiation, that causes extreme fatigue and weakness, and that is going to also prolong your time frame of going into an exercise program as well. Always listen to your body. We will stress that a lot through this whole entire thing. Listen to your body, go slow, and get a doctor's clearance.
All right, so here are some ways to really get going and get started with the basics. So once you have that medical clearance, you want to start very slow and, again, listen to your body. So try low impact exercises like walking, stretching, or yoga, and gradually increase that intensity as your body adjusts. It's important to recognize your limits, especially if you're dealing with side effects like pain and fatigue. So aim for very short sessions initially. Think 5 or 10 minutes at a time and slowly build up to those longer workouts. Recovery is a process, and it's okay to go at your own pace. The second thing is really focus on range of motion and flexibility first. So after surgery or radiation, you may experience some stiffness and some limited mobility, especially in the shoulders and arms. So incorporate some gentle stretching or mobility exercises to help restore that range of motion and flexibility before moving into more vigorous workouts. Exercises like arm circles, shoulder rolls, and chest stretches can help you regain movement and prevent stiffness. And Christy's actually going to show us some of these things when we get into the demonstrations. The third thing is to incorporate strength training gradually. So strength training is important for rebuilding muscle, improving bone density, and managing lymphedema, but it should be introduced very carefully. So start with very light weights, think 1 or 2 pounds, maybe some resistance bands, or even no weights at all, and just focus on body weight exercises, and really focus on making sure you have proper form and go very slow and controlled with those movements. This can help strengthen muscles without putting too much strain on the body, especially in areas specifically affected by treatment. Ideally, you can work your way up to 30 minutes twice a week of resistance training. And then lastly, you want to prioritize activities that you enjoy. So exercise really should be something that you look forward to. Choose activities that you enjoy doing, whether that's dancing, swimming, or cycling. If you find joy in your workout, you're more likely to stick with it long term. And there are all kinds of classes out there as well, anything from yoga and Pilates to strength training to cycling. Group classes can give you a great workout, but they also include that social support, which is beneficial both for motivation and also your mental health during recovery.
Absolutely. And those group classes can be so much fun, especially if you are partaking in that social aspect of it. So before you get into any of these kinds of classes, if it's going to be dancing or any kind of aqua fitness, make sure that you're taking the time to warm up properly. Like Erica said, you don't need to do a ton. You can start slow. Everybody's going to go at their own pace. So I always encourage maybe 5 minutes, a few minutes of cardio, just enough to really get that heart rate up, your blood flowing, maybe get a nice little sparkle going on your forehead. And then go from there and go into your, I'm actually going to show this. So a good one, if you are going light, we're going to do light cardio here. You want to walk, bike, if you have a rower available, but if you don't have any of that, you can simply just march in place. And if you march in place for 3 or 5 minutes, it kind of becomes a bit much, but your heart rate's going to get elevated. You might get a little bit of a sweat going. and then you will then be warm enough to move into the next section. So then the next section that you would do would be, if needed, any lymphedema prevention moves. I will demonstrate some of these, but these are some shoulder shrugs, your wrists rolls overhead to get fluids flowing, and then going into your range of motion moves, wall walks, shoulder extensions, stuff like that. Ooh, I'm spinning. Yeah, you don't need any special equipment to do a warm-up. You can just do it all right here on the floor if we wanted to.
Absolutely. Okay, so here are some tips for starting at home using some household items. So one of the most important things to consider as you're getting back into exercise is your comfort level. And a great way to get started is simply moving intentionally 5 to 10 minutes a day using items that you already have around the house. So let's go over some examples. So the first thing I'm going to show you is some stretching, and here you can use something as simple as a towel. So I know with certain types of treatment, you're going to have, again, that stiffness and tightness in the upper body, shoulders and arms. So something that can assist with that stretching is a simple towel. You might lift that up overhead and then bring it back behind. That can stretch those arms and that chest a little bit here, like so. So very, very simple stretch there. Another thing that most people have at home is a bag of sugar or maybe a bag of flour. I chose sugar because flour is a bit messy for today. So simple things that you could do with a bag of sugar or flour could be squats, could also be something like a lunge. So you can step back into a lunge. It could be something like an overhead press, like so. Something else that you might find in your pantry would be canned goods. You can use larger jars or water bottles, kind of whatever fits, whatever you have around, really. So things you could use, things you could do here might be bicep curls. You could do some lateral raises, and you could do shoulder presses with any of these items. Christy, who do you have with us today?
Well, this is my accountability partner, actually. So sometimes, if you, depending on the stage of life that you have had to go through treatment, you need to find an accountability partner. And accountability partners are the best. It can be a friend, a family member, a sister in treatment or recovery. I personally have 2 small kids, and so I work out with them all the time. They're always there. So incorporating household items, i.e. your children, into workouts if you need to, is a great way to move through that. Or even your kids can be an accountability partner. Accountability is huge. My kids are always cheering me on. Go, Mom, go. Or they are pushing me harder. Bet you can't race me to the mailbox and back, stuff like that. So it's a great way to stay motivated and to keep moving, keep going.
So are there any exercises that you would be able to utilize your lovely daughter for?
Absolutely.
Why don't you show us some of those?
So, for those of you who might have small children, holding...
She's beautiful, by the way.
Thank you. She has a barrette. She's fancy. So if you have small children, a lot of people have carriers for their babies. Hold them face forward facing if you need to. You can do squats with them. You can do lunges. Turn them around, and careful for any spit up, but you can do an overhead press with them. Too many of that up and down motion could get a little messy. But yes, there are plenty of things that you can do and incorporate your family members or your children in while working out at home.
Love that. Okay, so the next thing is finding a class or a program that interests you. So the number one thing to consider when you're deciding on a new class or a new gym is finding something that you actually enjoy. Again, finding a place that you actually want to be, people that you want to be around. So you want to find something that you can stick with long term. So consider choosing something that supports both your physical and your mental health. Some examples could be Pilates, aqua classes, or low impact strength training. And you might even look into a local walking club or a dance class. I know a lot of community colleges have really great and fun dance classes that you could do. So pick something that fits your personality and also your current energy level. If you're not sure what you might like, you could go on a fun gym safari.
Yes.
And try out all kinds of new gyms and new classes. Pretty much everywhere offers at least one free class. So grab a friend and bop around town and go on that gym safari and find something that you absolutely love.
Do you need a friend?
I do need a friend.
Have a friend. Okay, so some of those classes can be a little bit intimidating. And personally, I don't have the grace or the coordination for dance classes, but she does. So you've got yourself a partner. Anyways, as far as intimidation goes, getting back into a fitness routine can be a bit intimidating. Whether it's going to a gym that you haven't been to a gym in how many years, nobody knows. Going into that gym, there are staff there. If you are sitting there going, I don't know how to work this treadmill, I don't know how to adjust these machines, there are staff dedicated to help you go through this. Their job is to teach you how to turn on that treadmill that is smarter than your smartphone, because they're out there and they're intimidating. Even as a trainer, I get in there and I'm like, what do I do? Where is the simple go button? But anyways, it can be, you can work through it. As far as knowing if you're doing moves right or if you're feeling really ridiculous doing moves, which there are moves out there that are ridiculous, but knowing that there are apps out there, there are plenty of YouTube videos to show. You can look up how to do an overhead press, how to do a squat correctly. And there's tutorial videos to show you exactly how to hold your chest, where to put your shoulders, knees, spacing, stuff like that. As far as ridiculous moves go, I'll take my accountability partner.
Thank you.
Would you mind demonstrating some wacky jacks for me?
A wacky jack?
Yes.
I would love to demonstrate
You
a
are going
wacky
to look
jack.
absolutely ridiculous,
Okay.
and it's okay.
Are you ready for this?
Let's do it.
That
Truly
is a
a little
wacky
wacky.
jack. I've done those in classes, and everybody looks ridiculous, so nobody cares.
And that's the best part about it. I personally like a good fire hydrant. Now, I don't know if you can see me over here, but I'm going to come over here to the floor. Fire hydrant, you think of a fire hydrant and you think a dog peeing on a fire hydrant. That's exactly how you're going to feel. And it's awesome. So you're here, all fours, and you just lift those legs.
You do look like you're peeing on a fire hydrant.
Well, luckily for you, I'm not. So there's that.
Fantastic.
Okay, that's all I've got. Just remember, it's okay to look ridiculous. We all look ridiculous, and it's more fun when you do look ridiculous. Just have fun when you're getting back into things.
Absolutely. So the last thing is hiring a professional. So you could consider hiring a personal trainer who can help create a customized exercise program that matches your needs and your current fitness level. So they can help you manage your specific recovery needs, whether that is lymphedema, poor mobility, or lack of muscle strength. They can also provide some extra accountability and motivation when you don't totally feel like going to the gym. And some trainers even come to your home, and that's one of the services that we provide too. Christy can come right to your house and train you where you are most comfortable. I think one of the most important roles of the personal trainer is helping you to make sure that your form is correct and help to prevent any injuries. So now let's move on to demonstrations.
Yes.
Christy is going to show us some movements to help manage lymphedema, and then we will move on to some exercises using some very basic equipment.
Okay. So before I go into any big movements or anything, I really want to address something that we haven't even talked about. Compression sleeves. If you are prescribed a compression sleeve. It is so, so important to wear it to every single workout that you do, from the very start of your warm-up all the way through when you're done stretching. They're prescribed for a reason, and it is only going to help you with your moves. So, okay, now that that's out of the way, just wear your sleeves, guys. That's all I ask. So starting out with a warm-up, as I noted earlier, you're gonna wanna get that 5-ish minutes of cardio. Maybe you're gonna ride some bike. Then you're going to go in, once your heart rate is elevated and you've got a good sweat going, you're gonna go in, and if you need, with the sleeve, or if you have a fear of any kind of lymphedema, you need to go from cardio into your lymphedema drainage moves. So there's a whole selection of them. Some of them would be a prayer press. So you press your wrists together and you do each move about 10 times. So once you've done those 10, you can go into neck stretches, and that's just a simple pull, not a force, but a gentle pull. Others would be a shoulder shrug, shoulder rolls forward and backward. Good ones would be overhead. So you come up overhead and you put your hands into fists and you will roll them forward and then backward. You can also do opening and closing. So once you've gone through all of these motions 10 times or so, you come back and I'm already getting a little like warmed up. Once you've gone through all of your lymphedema prevention moves, we'll go in and do some range of motion moves. So I'm actually going to use this wall right here. Can I have you grab your drink?
You betcha.
And my favorite range of motion move for any shoulder stuff that you might have going on that might limit your ability to go up high is a wall walk. So I'll demonstrate here. My back will be to you, but I'll do it here on the side first. So your arms are going to be flat on the wall, and you're going to start here and then eventually just slowly climb up as far as you are comfortable. Ideally, you want to be up high like this, but if you can only get to here, then that's fine. You'll just slowly work your way through, and then you'll come down. So I'll show you here.
Have you ever thought about being a professional mime?
No. So you'll start here, and it's truly a slow crawl to where you eventually are up high, but if you can only get to here and then here, that's totally fine. Start working your way back down and then go up again about 10 times. The last one that I like would be a shoulder extension. So you would be pushing your arms back, and that's just helping that range of motion for the forward and the backward movements. And again, 10 times. Those are my range of motion and my warm-up moves.
Okay.
You should have been doing these with me before you go into
Yeah, I should have.
the rest of your stuff.
You're so smart. Okay,
That's why you hired me.
so there are a lot of things that you can do at home with some very simple equipment. So I have just a simple pair of dumbbells. You can get these for $10 or less. The heavier weights are going to be more expensive. The price goes up as they increase in weight. So we're gonna start with just a basic squat move, and there are lots of ways that you could do this. One way you could do this is just to have the weights down by your sides. You wanna make sure your hips go back first, like you're sitting down in a chair, all the way down and up. You also could put these weights kind of up on your shoulders or hold them here, and you go down and up. Once you're comfortable doing those exercises with weights, you want to show this with a band or no?
Yeah, we absolutely can. Give me a second to get my band dressed.
So things that you could have around the house would be a couple sets of dumbbells, maybe some bands, an exercise ball, a yoga mat, and those are all very inexpensive pieces of equipment that also don't take up a lot of room. So once you get to that point,
I'm gonna waddle
waddle over
over
here. So Christy's going to show us a squat with a circle band right above her knees here.
Yep. So you're gonna go with your legs just a little bit wider than your hips or your shoulders. And you're gonna just go down and make sure that you press those knees open to keep that resistance engaged, taut.
Sure. Yeah.
And then you waddle back over this way and you take the band off.
Perfect.
Wait, we were done with bands, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Another thing that you could do with those dumbbells, because you really want to strengthen those arms and that upper body, would be simple bicep curls. So you could do those forward. You could also rotate those arms out a little bit and bring them out to the side. This is also something that you can do with a long band. I'm gonna grab one of those bands.
Absolutely.
So we have a band with some handles, and there are a couple ways to do this one also. You could put one of your feet through that band, or you could put both of your feet through that band. Do you want to show us a bicep curl?
Absolutely.
Perfect. What do we want to remember on bicep curls?
You want to keep your elbows locked to your hip or to your side. And don't go up too high, because if you go up here, your elbow is going to come off that hip. You don't want to come down too low, and then you're just not putting in any work.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. All right, another exercise that you could do at home with basic equipment or just body weight is a lunge. So to do a lunge, I might be stepping forward into that lunge. If that puts a lot of pressure on your knees, the next thing I would suggest, take a step forward, is stepping back into that lunge. Puts a little less pressure on those knees.
Now, something to think about with the lunges, if you don't have that range of motion that gets you all the way down to where your knee is almost tapping or touching the floor, you can do just a lunge pulse. Can I borrow a weight or two? And you can just hold them here. And it's just a simple up, down. You're engaging that quad and still getting a workout in.
Beautiful. Okay. And lastly, let's show some different variations of the push-up. This is something that you can do without any equipment at all. So let's go maybe hardest to easiest.
Yeah.
So I'm going to show a couple variations of the push-up on the floor. So I would say one of the hardest types of push-ups is going to be on your toes. So this is your basic push-up that you see. To take that down a notch, you put your knees on the floor for that push-up. And then the next modification would be bending those knees, having your hips in the air, and then taking it down here for a push-up. Can you show us a couple other modifications?
So to go off the floor, not the most sturdiest chair here, so I don't want to go too, you want to stand on this side so I don't knock it over? You can go through and you can do an incline push-up right here and go up like that. If that's still too hard, you can go here and do, I call it a tabletop push-up, or you can come to the wall, again, the wall, and you're here, and then you can put your feet back as far or as close as you are comfortable with to get that full range of motion.
Awesome. All right, so that is it. Let's get into some questions.
Absolutely.
Are there benefits to hot yoga?
Oh,
That's a good one.
I'm super pale and fair, so I personally don't do anything other than like want to pass out when I do hot yoga. However, are there any like medical benefits, would you say?
So if we're doing something in like a sauna or a hot environment, it does help to get your heart rate elevated versus a typical yoga class at, let's say, room temperature. So that would be one benefit of a hot yoga. However, I would be very, very cautious coming out of treatment. You definitely want to make sure you're not doing anything that makes you uncomfortable, where you get dizzy, if you're nauseous, anything like that. If you're already dehydrated, I probably wouldn't recommend that option.
Your medications, if you are taking any medications too, can play into that as well, to where they might actually make it to where you get like the nausea or dizziness on top of or quicker than what you normally would. So something to take into consideration would be any kind of medications that you're on before jumping into some hot yoga.
Yeah. So again, listen to your body is kind of the first thing you need to consider. Are there apps you recommend for stretching and workouts?
Oh.
Absolutely. So I really like one called JE Fit. It is a free app. It has a ton of exercises on there. There's pre-made workouts. You can make your own workouts. It has a little like 2-second video with each exercise.
Yes.
So you can go in there and you can search for bicep exercises, for glute exercises, for core exercises. And you can also filter in there based on the equipment that you have. So if you're at home and you have a set of dumbbells, then that's what you choose and it will give you exercises based on that.
Is baby an option?
No.
So to pair with that, I actually discovered another app this week, and it's called Fit On. And it's very similar, but it is, you can put in the type of workout if you want to do yoga or HIIT or just stretching or a treadmill workout. It offers all kinds of different programs, again, completely free. And it also will tie in like recipes. I love food, so it ties in recipes to go with it as well.
Fabulous. And all of our training clients also get access to our app with personalized exercise programs as well. So just throwing that out there. Do you have any seated workouts?
Yes.
Should we show some seated exercises?
Yeah, we absolutely can.
Yeah.
Can I drop the height of this chair? This could be fun.
Yeah.
Just a little bit, not by much. Want a bit?
Beautiful.
So,
That's beautiful.
making sure my little mic here doesn't fall off. Leg curls or extensions, I should say, not curls. You can do, make sure that your posture is good and your core is strong. You can hold on as long as your chair is not wobbly here and go and just go straight out. These are good for your quads. Grab my cute little 1-pounders. Again, any of the moves that Erica showed with the bicep curls, you can do sitting down. You can do an overhead press. You can even go into your lateral raises and your front raises, all from sitting in a chair.
And if you're a little bit unstable and uncomfortable with doing a squat, you could simply do chair squats where you sit down in the chair and you stand back up. So that gives you just that little extra, I don't know. Support, yes.
Comfort.
Yeah.
I have more.
A lot of gyms also have specific chair workouts. So I teach a couple classes at the Y as well, and they have some chair classes that they do where the whole class is a seated class. So that could be something else to consider.
Absolutely.
Where do you recommend I buy equipment? Well, I'm a bargain shopper, so I would say shop around
Marketplace.
a little bit. Yes, certainly you can get used equipment. People are always getting rid of dumbbells and those kinds of things.
Sure.
You can get things at Target or Amazon or Walmart. I would say in terms of dumbbells, you don't necessarily need something that is fancier or more expensive. There is a bit of a difference between the quality of bands that I've seen. I bought some cheap ones and they broke on the first day, so then I switched to a little bit different kind because that can be dangerous when the bands break on you.
And just to note for the weights, if you're just starting out, they have everything down to 1 pound. Actually, I think it's like a 0.5 pound dumbbell. So you can go low. You don't have to jump in at a 5 pound if you are not comfortable with it. You can start with a 1, go to a 3, then a 5, and just, like we've said, go slow this whole entire time.
Work your way up.
Work your way up.
What do you recommend for a recovery drink and or meal? Ooh, great question. So I would say that depends on your workout. It depends on the intensity of the workout. You definitely want to hydrate. That could be with something as simple as water. If you're doing a more vigorous or intense workout, you do want to replenish some of those carbohydrates. So chocolate milk is actually known to be a very great
So good.
after workout drink because it has some carbohydrate, it is a fluid, and it also has a little bit of protein. So there's a lot of ways you could go there. You don't necessarily need a hydration beverage. So I know there's a lot of things on the market that have extra electrolytes and sodium and those kinds of things. But for the average person doing a workout that is an hour or less, unless you are sweating profusely or are doing something out in excessive heat or are already very dehydrated, you can
hot yoga.
like the hot yoga, you're pretty good with just simply water.
And chocolate milk.
Chocolate milk.
Delicious.
Absolutely. How do I combat soreness?
Do it again.
What do you mean by that?
Kind of.
Christy?
Okay. So your soreness comes from that lactic acid that just starts to build up in your muscles. So if you're sore in your quads from doing a bunch of squats the day before or in your shoulders, do the movements again because you're just going to get that stuff moving. If your legs are sore, go for a long walk, but maybe include a hill to get some of that stuff going. If your shoulders are sore or your chest, maybe try and go for a swim. You don't have to do the exact same move over again, but as long as you're doing that motion, it'll help get things moving.
There's a lot of things you can do also with the foam roller to help really get that soreness out. So, and we didn't bring one of those, but maybe that would be a good conversation for another time.
For sure.
What should I eat before a workout? That is going to depend on the workout and the timing a little bit. So primarily you want hydration and you want carbohydrates. You don't need to go overboard on protein before a workout. So if you're working out first thing in the morning, one suggestion might be, water or whatever beverage you're having in the morning and something like a half a bagel or a piece of toast with peanut butter or something like that. If you're working out later in the day, the purpose of eating prior to a workout is making sure your body has that immediate energy for the workout, and the carbohydrate or the glucose is really what you need.
You want to fuel your body properly to get you through these workouts.
Right.
For sure.
You want to make sure you're not doing a huge meal before a workout because it's going to weigh you down. You could have some digestive issues there, and you don't want anything with a ton of fiber or a ton of fat before a workout because again, you're not going to feel very good during that workout if you do that. So kind of a lighter meal, maybe more of a snack if it's something that's really close to the timing where you're going to do your workout. Do you have recommendations on meal plans? That's a great question. So what I recommend is instead of following a strict meal plan, to have someone help you figure out how to plan on your own. So kind of the downsides to having a strict meal plan is that it doesn't apply to
You get that tunnel vision.
real life.
Yes.
Yeah. So if you have everything written out, here's what you're supposed to have, breakfast, lunch, and dinner 7 days a week. What happens when your friend says, hey, do you want to go out for lunch today? You're going to go, oh my gosh, it's not on my meal plan.
Your kid wants birthday cake at the kid's friend's birthday party.
That's not on my meal plan.
You can't eat it then. Well, that stinks.
It stinks. And then you feel guilty and then you just say, whatever. So instead of having kind of that black and white thinking or putting a box around what you're eating, you want to learn how to be flexible and find that balance. And that's what I like to help people find with my one-on-one coaching is instead of following a strict plan, let's figure out how to have a good balance in your life so that you can enjoy eating healthy foods the majority of the time, but also not feel guilty if you want to have a piece of cake or if you want to have some Cheetos P.S. Cheetos are my favorite. I mean, you should be able to have those things once in a while without the guilt.
Nobody wants the guilt over food.
Nope. No guilt. How do I build my stamina back up?
Slowly but surely. It just will come with time, and nobody wants to hear that because everybody wants to just jump back in it. But being consistent, staying dedicated and motivated. Dedication is what is going to win all over motivation, because I'm not motivated to work out every single day, and it's okay. Nobody's motivated every single day, but as long as you are dedicated, that is where you're going to see your progress show.
Right. It's all about the discipline. And I would really encourage you to set very small mini goals week by week. So sometimes we say, I want to accomplish this big thing, and it's 3 months or 6 months or a year down the road. It's really easy to get discouraged day to day because you're going to see this much progress in a day or a week or a month. You're not going to see this much progress. So really set small goals. What can I accomplish this week that will eventually get to the longer goals? I mean, I like to think about health goals kind of like a savings account. So if you put money into your savings account every single day or every single week, eventually you got a big chunk of money in your savings account.
Yeah.
But if every day you're saying, oh, I want to spend that money on this thing, or I want to spend money on this thing, you're like taking money out of your savings account, and that doesn't get you to your goals long term. So think about starting very, very small and building from there.
That's such a good way to think about it. Savings account.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
I don't have an accountability partner. Do you know a support group or Facebook group I can join? Well, you absolutely can join the AIM Nutrition Coaching Group.
I'll be your partner.
And we would love to be your accountability partner.
For real.
I mean, I think that there also just in general is a lot of like fitness groups out there.
There are. I mean, there's so many different, just thinking about Facebook group variety as a whole. There's the moms groups, depending on what town you're in. If you're in Omaha or Gretna, Lincoln, Kearney, wherever you're at, there's got to be moms groups out there. And if you're part of a moms group, reach out to somebody in there and say, hey, this is my situation, and I'm looking for somebody to just hold me accountable. If you're not part of a moms group, maybe visit a local YMCA group. There's so many options out there, and you can just put yourself out there and say, this is my situation. I'm probably starting slow, but I want somebody to be there with me along the way. And you're going to find them. It's a matter of time.
Yeah. How many sets of exercises should I do?
That's a great question. So starting out, I would say for repetitions, go very slow, maybe 8 to 10, but I wouldn't do any more than repeating that 2 times. Not in the very beginning. You really want to focus on making sure your form for that overhead press is correct and you're getting the focus and the attention that that range of motion needs before increasing to more sets.
Yep, absolutely. I mean, you might start off with just 1 set of each exercise that you're doing. I mean, like we said, 5 or 10 minutes when you're getting started is plenty. So kind of set yourself a time limit, listen to your body, and see how you feel the next 24 hours. If you are so exhausted that you feel like you can't do the laundry and you want to take a nap, then maybe you pushed it too hard, and then you can adjust from there.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Sounds like that's it for questions.
Yeah.
Those were good questions.
Well, thank you. Yeah. Thank you both for joining us today on Straight Talk, Ask an Expert, where we return to fitness and we learned all of the things to safely get you back into a fitness routine.
Absolutely.
There was one thing that we wanted to mention that we haven't told anyone yet.
Yes.
Surprise.
Yeah. Due to the generosity of both of these women, they're offering Project Pink breast cancer survivors whoever registers first, an opportunity to do a 4-week intro course, whether it be Monday mornings from 9 to 10 or Wednesday afternoons from noon to 1, starting November 6th. And it's going to be a 4-week class, so either one of those days works for you. It's limited availability. You guys are the first to know, so jump on it quick. It's on our website, on the event calendar. Make sure you go to the November calendar since it's still in October. But once that's full, it's full, and we'll see how it goes. So thank you
I'm
so much.
excited for that. By
It's
the
going
way.
to be wonderful. It's at Gretna Performance Center, and more details will come. But thank you both, and you guys have a great evening.
Yes,
Yes,
thank you
thank
so
you.
much.
This was awesome.